Welcome to Look at It This Way. Today we're joined, I think I used the phrase the backbone of Fly. I think I've used that before, but this time I feel like I really mean it. So this is someone who not only brings their artistic flair and color to the Fly on the Wall team, but really is a great source of support and a hard worker and somebody who's also multifaceted as an artist and creative themselves, uh, and someone I've really just been enjoying to get to know the last 6 or 7 years. Uh, Welcome, Christina Massad.
Oh my gosh, thanks, Nick. That was what an intro. I feel so honored. Oh my gosh.
It's
Thank
true.
you.
Everyone says that, but it's not like I'm lying. It's just the things you do. And I think, oh, this is good for you. Just look at what you've accomplished, and you should feel this good all the time. What do you
That
think
is
about that?
true. That's a great, yeah,
Um,
I support that. You're right.
right. So yeah, actually, that's another great segue. I wanted to start by getting to know a little bit more about your background as a dancer, maybe first. So can you take me back to like early Christina dancer to today, who is killing it in the contemporary world, the commercial world, got her toe in a little bit of everything. How did you get there?
Yeah, so basically I started dance at 3 years old, like every other person on this planet, I feel like. Um, And I was put in a very strict ballet school. So I did nothing but ballet from 3 to like 15 years old. And I obviously started doing point at some age in there. I don't know, I was probably like
You should have
10 years
said at
old.
some point.
I was going to say that. And then I stopped myself because I was like, I did point at some point in there. And then I was like,
I was waiting for it, but anyway.
um, I should have just gone with my gut. Um, and There would be, so I would only do ballet throughout the year, but of course we had summer intensives, and during the summer intensives, there would be a week of different styles. And I remember there was like one jazz class that I remember taking, and I was like, oh, it's just so fun to do like a little taste of it, and then just
Mhm.
like back to the ballet bag for the rest of the year, multiple days a week and weekends. And that's like all I knew what dance was. And my sister did it as well. So that's like, I was like, okay, well, my sister's doing it. So that's what I know dance to be. And then, of course, Dance Moms comes out. And I'm like, well, there's more than just like ballet, like the TV show Dance Moms. Like I was young. And I was like,
I'm
wow, that's
obsessed
kind
with
of
dance
cool.
moms being the gateway for you. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
no, crazy, right? And so I was doing a lot of stuff in middle school. And at some point, it was like my ballet schedule was getting very, very time consuming. And I wasn't able to go to like the high school football games or have sleepovers on Friday nights because I had dance in the mornings on Saturday mornings and dance on Friday night. So I wasn't really having
Mhm.
like that like childhood experience. So I was like, you know what?
Mhm.
Maybe ballet is not for me. So I took a year off, and then I met a girl in high school who was like, oh, I dance for this studio really close by. You should come audition. And she's like, we do all the styles. And I was like, oh, is it like Dance Moms? And she's like, yeah, like we do all the styles, like Dance Moms. And I was like, okay. So I went and auditioned and I made it. And so I did 2 years there, which is where I met Nicole.
Mm.
And yeah, very full circle. She was my first ever contemporary teacher. And I was like, wait, what do you mean you don't have to like point your feet all the time? Like you're allowed to like flex your feet and like turn in your muscles. Like I remember she was trying to tell me how to turn in my muscles. She's like, yeah, I'm just gonna turn in here. And I was like, what do you mean? Like I actually don't know how to physically activate my muscles to like turn in my legs. Like they're just like stuck being turned out. So I started, but I
Really,
didn't,
Nicole Johnson is a hard turn.
oh yeah, 100%. And I had also met Jimmy and Sean at that point too, but they were only subbing for her a couple times, so I didn't really know who they were. I had them like once each. Um, as a substitute teacher, and it was there I did like jazz, contemporary, hip hop. I did not do tap because I didn't do tap growing up, so it was kind of too late for me to start that. Not too late, but I just didn't really have the interest. Sorry, wish I did. But And yeah, so I didn't really know what I was doing when it came to any of those classes, but I got placed in the most advanced classes because my technique was so high because I was raised in like a ballet school. So my
Mm.
technique was so much better than the rest of the girls there, but I didn't know how to do things in jazz class and lyrical, contemporary, whatever. So I was really trying to play catch up there. But it was a fun 2 years, and I graduated from high school dancing there. I started a dance team at my high school my senior year. We didn't have a dance team, so I started one with some friends who I also danced with at that same studio.
Okay, I did
And
too.
did you really? You started a
Mm.
dance team at your high school?
Yeah, we performed at like basketball games and stuff.
That's what we did. We performed at a pep rally and
Yes. Oh my God,
some
that's
basketball
crazy.
games. Yeah, kind of crazy. I actually, when I was performing at a pep rally one time, I had this guy ask me to prom right after it in front of the whole entire school. And he didn't even go to our high school. And everyone was like, who is this kid?
Ooh,
And
he doesn't even go
I
here.
literally, he doesn't even go here. And it was like, I remember hitting like my last pose of the dance, and then he like comes out into the court and he comes up behind me, so everyone's like screaming, and I'm like, wow, they're screaming because we did such a good job, like they love us, like they're hyping us up. And then everyone's like pointing, and I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, turn around. I turn on his big sign that's like, we're gonna prom with me. And I was like, how did you get into this school? And I did not want to say yes. I really wanted to say no, but I didn't want to say no in front of everyone. And I remember we were like, someone took a picture of us, and in the picture, I'm kind of leaning away from him because I'm like,
No.
like,
Oh my God.
and I just didn't say anything. And then I had to message him later and be like, hey, no, I'm not interested in going to prom with you. I'm really sorry. Like, he's like, I
Oh
just
my
want some arm
God.
candy. I was like, arm candy? You're crazy. But yeah, anyways.
Your Lord.
There, yeah. But I guess that's what I get for starting a dance team at my high school.
Yeah, that's the lesson. That's the walk away.
Yeah. And then I didn't really know what I wanted to do after high school. School is just like I was not really a school person. That's crazy to say. But I found out about KSU's dance program, and I was like, you know what? Let me go audition. And I also applied there. So once I found out that I made it after auditioning for the dance program, I was like, or to be a dance major, I was like, great, that's where I'm going to go. So I hope I get in because I literally did not apply anywhere else. And it was like their last audition in Feb or second to last audition. I think I did it in February. And I remember I was sitting in math class in high school, and I got the email that it was like, congratulations, you've been accepted. And they only take 25 people. And I was like, you guys, I got it. It was like my like moment where it's like, you know, those TikToks where they're like,
Yeah.
watch me get into Harvard or something. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I know this
Oh, that's
program. They're like, oh my God, you're going to KCU. And I was like, well, I need to get accepted to the school first, but like,
the
yeah.
dance part. Yeah.
So there is where I kind of opened up my contemporary bag because KCU dance is very contemporary, concert contemporary. But I was a I started as a ballet concentration, and then I switched to a modern concentration, although that doesn't really mean anything. Um, and yeah, I got to work with a lot of guest choreographers who came to KSU. So my experience at KSU Dance, I would say, is very different than just like the average student who comes in
Hmm.
because you audition for the KSU Dance Company every semester. And in the fall semester, the professors choreograph and they bring in outside working choreographers. And then in the springtime, it's the seniors who choreograph as part of their senior project. And for whatever reason, my freshman, sophomore, junior, for every single semester I was there, I got cast in only guest choreographers pieces.
Mm.
So I got to work with two choreographers from Israel. I got to work with someone from California, an outside choreographer from Atlanta, and then Sean also was my last one that I got to work with too. So for me, it was really fun just because I got to work with real choreographers. Not that professors are not real choreographers, but I mean outside of a university setting. So
Right.
that was really beneficial for me, especially getting to be exposed to Israeli choreographers was really fun for me, just because
Hmm.
my family is from there. And although there's like different backgrounds, it's the same kind of place. So
Yeah.
I felt really fortunate about that. And yeah, so then I graduated from KSU Dance with a Bachelor of Arts in Dance and also a Bachelor of Science in Media Studies and Entertainment. Um, I did tear my ACL in a ballet class at KSU Dance, so I had to take a year off and more like 9 months. So I started my other degree, not by choice. My parents actually made me get that because they're like, well, look, you're injured, and if you can't dance, what are you going to do? So you need to add another degree. And I was like, oof,
Then bam.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did that, but it turned out to be like the biggest blessing in disguise, kind of. In hindsight, I was like, yeah, of course. Why did I not do that from the start? And then upon graduating, well, okay, this is actually important. When I was at KSU as a senior, you have to have an internship. And so I decided to do my internship with Fly on the Wall because I knew Nicole from my previous studio. And I started interning with them for a semester for school credit, and I was really enjoying it. So I asked if I could stay on for the spring semester just to like gain for my own personal knowledge, not for like school credit. And then when that spring semester was up, I thought I was just gonna like toodaloo and be like, thanks guys for everything that I learned. And they actually asked me to join the team after that. And it's like, wow, I was a toss moment, hair toss.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, absolutely. So yeah, that was a really fun full circle moment as well. So now have been a part of the team ever since then. Um, and yeah, um, also KC Dance brought in a lot of outside dance companies. So I was really getting a lot of exposure to the whole dancing that I really didn't even know existed, to be honest. Like had no idea there was even a dance scene in Israel. Like
Mhm.
what? They brought kibbutz, they brought vertigo. So I just was like, wow, this is really amazing, and really opened my eyes to everything that can be outside of Atlanta.
Yeah.
And not only did they bring dance from Israel, but like all over the world, different countries, different parts of America. Um, so yeah, that's kind of what I did after graduating, was just dancing professionally in the contemporary concert, concert contemporary scene.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until recently that I started getting into the commercial dance scene, and that has been super fun. Just kind of like reigniting my joy for dance, I think, because I think
Yeah.
I was taking dance so seriously in the concert world, and it was also fun. But I was like, oh wow, there's also just freedom and like just dancing just because I.
Yeah. Like when you like you said, starting that group when you were in high school, I know even out of I went from a very like contemporary concert world to like being in a on the college dance team that was like
Mm.
audition and do little dances again on the middle of the
Like
dance floor.
palm kind of stuff,
No,
or not?
that's how we
Oh, oh,
would
oh, oh, oh.
boom,
Got it.
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
This is the gestures for the people at home.
yeah.
But something about like uh engaging on a level is like it's just fun to move my body. Like it's fun to just ride a beat. It's just fun to like
Mm-hmm.
where the goal is to entertain. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that- it's something pleasurable there. It's different stakes. Um, it's a different part of the brain. It's a different part of it's still involving the heart, I would say. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah. Can you talk about potentially, I think people would be interested in the mental challenges and like from going from an intern in a space to one of the only six artists in platforms like Fly.
Yeah. So I remember being an intern and being at a meeting at a coffee shop with the rest of the team. And this was back when it was just when the team was just Nicole, Sean, and Nathan. And I remember Sean looked at me, and I was like on my computer just taking notes or something. And like Sean was like, well, Christina, like, what do you think? And I was like, oh my God, was I listening? They actually want to know my opinion. Like, what were we just talking about? I was like, I have to zone in. I was like, oh my God, this is my moment. Like, and I was like, the fact that they're asking me, an intern, like what my thoughts are, what my opinion is, what do I think? And I was like, oh my gosh, I just wasn't expecting. I don't know. Usually intern is like, you don't get to say anything. You're just there to like gain knowledge, not input your knowledge, you know? Um, and so, yeah, that transition, honestly, I feel really blessed to have had this transition with Fly because although I am the youngest one on the team, each
Brag.
person each person on the team has done a really, really fabulous job of like making me feel as their equal, and I've never once have felt less than because of my age. I've never felt like I'm not valued or that they don't care about my opinion or anything. And it's just like a constant reminder for me to be like, oh yeah, no, like they do care about what I think. And I feel like within the last like year or so, I've really finally gotten to a place mentally where I'm like, okay, yeah, like I am equal. I am like, even though I've been there for like a very, very long time now, um,